hold here for a second, go now. Welcome again to the Stands of Ibrox. I'm very sorry for the technical difficulties. That word that I can't say. Technical difficulties, even. No idea what happened, but hopefully this will be it sorted. Right, let's start this again. Stu, how you doing, mate?
I'm alright, mate. Busy wee day, so having a wee chill out to sit and talk to you, fine gentlemen.
It was quite good banter in that chat today. I enjoyed that.
Unreal.
That was good.
And the next person, as I said earlier on, before he was a wee bit late in that because he couldn't get lipstick to match his underwear. Welcome, Scotty. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, Curry. I'm absolutely fine, mate. Cheers for having me on.
Right. Shall we get into this, gentlemen?
Yes.
Right. Now, obviously, everybody's going to complain about the horrendous refereeing, right? But the problems at Rangers goes a lot deeper. What do you think?
Aye, 100%. Aye. Where do we start? Christ. Where do you want to start, Curry?
Well, right. I'm going to start with the starting 11, right?
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I've just had my dinner. Sorry. Continue. Sorry.
I thought maybe going to make you throw up.
My bad, mate. My bad. Them southern fried chicken steaks, no?
You're a bad man. You're 10
here.
times worse. I thought I was bad. You're worse than me. Right.
So, aye, starting 11.
Starting 11, mate. Aye. Stu, I'll go to you first, right? What was your thoughts on that starting 11? Now, I want you to be... I know you've got to be honest with us, right? But be brutal. And who should have been on that park?
Well, I'd have started Czerny. In fact, here's maybe a different kind of look at it. Well, no, I'm not even going to go there, actually. I'd started Czerny. Definitely. I think it was a pleasant surprise not to see Scott Wright starting every game for us.
That was a shining light, wasn't it, actually? I think that cheered a lot of fans up.
I thought McCausland actually had a good start. He was energetic and stuff like that, but I think it should have been... You can see what he was trying to do, you know. Scott Wright will run at defenders all day, maybe tire his opponents out. Then you'll bring Czerny, who's got that kind of class, that cut inside and that shot. I know you don't want to get into the decision too early, but that kind of killed that plan off. So then it looks as if he should have started Czerny and then brought McCausland on against tired defenders, maybe. I wasn't too upset with the right-hand side. Obviously, we've got the usual frustrations with Lawrence being undroppable because there's nobody else in that 10 position. Well, there actually is, but they're sitting in the reserves or not getting a sniff. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not really too sure how much he could have changed it outside of dropping Scott Wright, because we are still kind of limited at the moment. What do you still think?
What were you, Scotty?
Right, so what was the lineup? We had Butland, Tavernier, Proper,
Yilmaz,
Redvan, Barron and Diamande, Tom Lawrence, useless. I'd have dropped him. I'd have put Sterling into midfield. I'd have moved Diamande further forward. For a while in the second half, I know we'll probably get into it, but they two swap positions and Lawrence actually got a wee bit more involved in the game with his passing ability. And Diamande was making more at the 10 position than what Lawrence was. On the right, Ross McCausland, no complaints. I get the manager's thinking behind Czerny. It was in case we were going to extra time. Bring him on, he's going to last a wee bit longer, blah, blah, blah. And then, who was on the left again? Hefty. It was what it was, but Tom Lawrence needs to up, lads. He's an empty jersey. He's picking up a wage he shouldn't be picking up. We've been through the never-ending discussion of Yanis Hadji. He couldn't have played last night because he's not on a European registration anyway, but I think we need to come to some kind of agreement with him and his agent over this clause in his contract where Yanis Hadji can play fit for us, because this is getting borderline ridiculous with Tom Lawrence now. He jumped for the first goal and the ball went under his feet. He's just he's not contributing the way I want him to contribute in a Rangers shirt anymore. And his wage is too dear. Too dear for him to keep playing. If I'm going to have a rant about anybody tonight, it's probably going to be Tom Lawrence.
Right. Well, you won't be surprised when I say the names that I'm going to say. Tavernier's needing dropped.
Yep.
Aye.
We were told by the manager even before the season started that James Tavernier would be playing a lot less than he has been. Now, that's the last 4 games he's played for the full 90 minutes. So either he's lying or there's other players that he's not trusting to come in. And it's frustrating to me. And as I said, and I know everybody doesn't agree with me, as always, right? But I'm having major doubts about the things that Clement says and the things that Clement does. And it's getting a wee bit bloody worrying for me. Now, I'm trying my hardest not to go too much into the game. It was what it was. I thought we played all right. Actually, I was enjoying the game. I thought we were in it. I thought there was quite a few mistakes made. I thought there was a lot of energy there. There was a lot of movement, except for Lawrence. That's 2 games in a row that Lawrence has been absolutely fucking nowhere. He's done nothing in 2 games in a trot. As you say, Stu, my only surprise was I was expecting Scott Wright to be played. That was only shocker. And it was actually quite good, because normally as soon as we hear the start 11 and Scott Wright's in the starting 11, the fucking joy and optimism of every Rangers supporter gets sucked right out you. And
He's saving him for Hampden, no?
Oh, aye, kept him for Hampden. It was just, it's really, really frustrating now, mate, what I'm seeing. And I'm not going to blame just the players. And I'm not going to just blame the manager. This has a hell of a lot to do with this bloody board, because it's getting beyond a circus at high level, between tickets, ticket pricings, merchandise, transfers, the stadium, a multitude of different things. And it's all to do with this bloody board. Am I wrong, Scotty?
No, you're completely right, mate. You're completely right. I was just laughing at Jaide's comment here about Susan Boyle coming round to yours before I got the bottle of Grey Goose.
Can you start please come on, and I'll send Susan Boyle round to yours with furry handcuffs and a bottle of Grey Goose. That's no bother. That's no bother, mate. She can come round here with a bottle of Grey Goose and a furry handcuffs, no bother.
You need to leave first.
Aye. At least she knows where my stay. At least she knows where I stay. She's already been here.
Well, he's got a lock in the cupboard, man.
Aye.
But no, Curry, the problems they always start from the top at a football club. Who made the decision to come on another year on his deal? Was there any real need for it to begin with? Listening
right,
to Graham's...
on that, mate, right, I'm going to cut in there, right? He got a year's extension. For what reason? Now, he had a worse record than bloody Michael Beale. That was was it six wins in 27 he's had? Something like that? Maybe somebody in the chat, or one of you guys know?
Do you think it was maybe a wee bit of, I know we promised you money, for signings, I know we promised you this, we promised you that. It's not happened, but here's another year, please don't go.
That's what I'm thinking, Stu. I think it was just basically desperation. But the thing is, if he did go right now, the way that bloody squad is, would it make any difference? Could me, you, or anybody else go in and pick a better starting 11 than Clement? Scotty?
Well, back to what I was saying. If you problem started at that. See if you don't know if any of you seen Graham Souness kind of no interview, but it's bit of spell on TalkSport that he says during the week, and he says there's absolutely no football men on the board at Rangers. That's why he was a part of the kind of recruitment process that recruited Clement. Now, I'm not saying Souness is right or wrong, right, but he's partly right when he's saying that if there's no football men on the board at Rangers, it creates a problem. So how does anybody know what's needed for Ronnie Park? You're trusting the manager, you're trusting Nils Kopp, and that's just two people. What we're doing on a journal tomorrow night is we're going to look at the chief executive role, and we're going to look at the director of football role, and who could potentially come in and compare it to like your Portos and your Dortmunds and all this kind of stuff, and have a look at what they've done. But what we need to do is we need to get our arse in gear, and we need to fix the problems off the pitch first. This all stems back to us having to go to Hampden, and whoever's made that like massive effort when it came to the steel delivery and all this jargon, right? Rangers should never need to go to Hampden. See, if that was going to be delayed as long as it was, it should have been put back to next season. We would have moaned about it. That we've got a sports bar that's been getting built for about 3 years that's still not been built. Do you know what I mean? Where the old shop used to be up at Ibrox, nobody's complaining about that. Instead of getting things, try to get things right off the park in this 2030 vision, just a wee message to the Rangers board. They need to go and get things right on the pitch first, right? You've got a manager that's come in and managed to get an utter squad of dross last season. He got them playing. He got us back into a title race. Fine, we fell away. Injuries were absolutely abysmal last season. He won his League Cup. Now, fair play to him for doing that. Now, there's an awful lot of...
Scotty, he won 2 games to get that cup.
Aye, I know. Granted, but he still won it.
Achievement, is it?
Would we have won it under Beale? No. I can categorically tell you we would not have won that cup under Beale Curry. I'm trying to give Clement a wee bit of praise here. A wee bit of praise, because when you're trying to... See, when you're getting into a job, you need all the right tools and equipment to do that job. And as a club, we've gave him no money in the transfer market, no stadium to play football in. It's just been an utter shit show from start to finish for a guy.
We've got a museum now, but...
Was that?
But we have got a museum now, but...
Exactly. Start getting stuff right on a pitch. See guys like Connor Barron. Connor Barron epitomises, he's not even a Rangers fan, but epitomises everything I want to see in a Rangers jersey. That wee guy was absolutely everywhere last night. He was wanting this. He was wanting to get into Champions League. Only player on the pitch that done it. Only player on the pitch that actually gave a fuck. I don't normally swear on these pods, right? But I am absolutely fizzing at Rangers just now. The board for what they've done to Clement for decisions he's making on the park, because 9 times out of 10 they're all wrong. And you've got one player that's trying to set an example. We've even brought Jack Butland down to our level. Jack Butland should have saved 1 or 2 goals last night easily. He would have saved them last season.
I was going to say that. He looks rattled now.
Sorry, Stu. On you go, mate.
No, I'm sorry. Butland does. He looks rattled at the moment. He looks at no confidence in the line in front of him. He knows he's going to be having, no joke, but like balls flying in at him. And like, I think one of them went under him. Was it the second? I can't remember if it was the first or second one. Looked like, I thought he could, if he had that kind of composure, which he's not able to maintain, because he's like, these guys are letting me down here.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, see what I think? I think our biggest problem is, right? Connor Barron was a bench warmer at Aberdeen last season, and he's setting an example in this Rangers team. Whose fault's that?
Was he a bench warmer? He played a lot of games.
Aye, he was. Aye, he was a bench warmer at Aberdeen.
Aye. You basically said, Scotty, what I've been saying for the last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You've basically been saying, I've been calling out the board so many times on all the corporate business. They're great at that, apparently. But apparently they're no now, because they're basically fucking up, and they've been caught out with this carry on, with the, like as you said, the stadium, which Stu said, the museum. Everything seems to be, oh, we'll put money there, we'll put money there, put money there. Will that make an investment? Aye, maybe 10, 15, 20 a year. It'll be all paid for itself. But right now, we want to see results as fans. And remember, Bennett's a Rangers fan, supposedly. Well, he is. But if he was a Rangers fan, would you know the first thing I would do, and I'm sure all you guys and everybody listening, the first thing you would do, we need to improve the fucking squad. Because if we don't improve that squad, we're in fuck all.
Aye.
Stu, what do you mate?
Do you not, talking about that, do you not think the squad has improved? Like, we've cleared a lot of players out. Like, Barisic was there too long, wasn't really contributing anymore.
Aye, they're all away because they're out of contract, but they'd still be here if...
Well, Barisic was, Lundstrom was, Ryan Jack was.
So fucking everybody, Stu.
The only ones who sold are Lammers and Goldson.
Stu, here.
Exactly. Sold Lammers, sold Goldson. What you guys moaning about? You know what I mean?
I just think that there's been a lot of problems and it's been building up and building up. I've been listening to a lot of the socials. I've been looking at stuff, and fans they're not happy, and I think they're right not to be happy. I want to come on to something that...
Sorry, I know I kind of ruined my point I was trying to make there by kind of going off at rails, right? But do you not think the midfield we've got now is better than what we had?
Aye.
So, I mean, that's been an improvement, and all those are new signings.
No improvements, Conor Barron, but Diamande was there last season. Raskin was there, barely played.
I know, but we made Diamande a permanent signing instead of just a loan player. Even though it was an obligation to buy. But anyway.
He needs to ditch his number 10 role. It's doing absolutely F all for the team. And that's something that lies at come on. He's the one that's picking the team and the tactics. And the number 10 has done nothing all year, even in pre-season. I don't see a point in it. Or maybe it's the player that's playing it.
I heard from a reliable source that the team's really geared towards playing a 4-4-2.
Let's not go there.
Well, I'm not going to swear, so that's it. I heard that GM. I don't know the full story in that, but maybe the lads will know a bit more about it. I've not seen anything. I've just been looking over things for last night and what's been happening. Now, I was listening to the presser afterwards, and obviously Clement's raging at the decision that the ref made. Right, it was a shocker. But as I said, that's not the reason that's not the only reason that we lost. There's deeper problems. Now, David Edgar asked a brilliant question. I think it was near the end, and it was regarding Danilo. It looked as if he was limping. To me, it looked like he was limping. Either that.
That's just his Fonzie swagger.
Oh, just his swagger, aye. I just thought he spent maybe 20 minutes in Pornhub before he came out. So I'm not too sure. But it was quick to quash that rumour that he's got a limp and he's always walked like that. Now, me personally, I've never seen him walk that way. But that's not even the point. Why is he not getting minutes? If he's on the bench, he must be fit enough. And if we're sitting 1-0 down with 8 minutes to go, why are we not putting another forward on instead of sending proper up top? What's that all about? Why didn't he take like Lawrence off and put Danilo on in his place? Because Lawrence done fuck all for the full game anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Now, I've seen that in every single post I've seen in X, every chat I've seen in all different pods that are about, that they've all said the same thing. Now, if we can all see it, come on, no see it, Scotty.
I don't know. I struggle to see what Cyril Dessers offers as a football player half the time. Without Dude, see when I think he won a flick on, was it last week against Kiev? And then he got his arse back in the box and finished it. That for this system and this style of play that we've apparently got, that's just a constant long ball. And you, Christ, it's just he's not getting players to play that way to begin with. The striker situation, something that came back to bite us in the arse for January to summer. I think it's fair to say we might have won the league could we get another striker in that could actually bury the ball in the back in it and had Danilo not get injured. Then you've got another striker that's been brought in from Morocco. It's never kicked a ball professionally, apparently. And needs to do one-on-one training and all that. But how could he not just come in and play anyway? Surely he offers more than Cyril Dessers, because anybody could offer more than Cyril Dessers last night, Corey. The guy was.
I know it's hard to agree with
I know.
this occasion.
I know, like the lack of depth in the forward, well, particularly the striking area, which for some reason has been a problem with Rangers since we had, if it was Gerrard's second season, where he managed to get Morelos, Defoe, Sadiq, and Greg Stewart all at the one time, and came out of roof. That was the most strikers we've ever had in the last few years, as I can remember. We've never done it and Kyle Lafferty was there as well. So that was like five, six strikers, the most we've had and that was under Gerrard. And since then, it's went steadily in decline to when Gerrard came in and we only had the choice of one striker, which was Dessers is like the new Morelos in that regard. And in terms of like dropping Dessers, I don't get us wrong. I always say this when I'm defending him. He does frustrate me too. I've had to buy how many new TVs because I keep throwing cans of lager at them in that, right? But he is scoring goals in that, right? And he wasn't even a starter all season last season. And he scored 22 goals in all competitions. He scored. I didn't score. I couldn't watch the whole game, but I mean, up to this point, he scored against the first leg in the Champions League qualifier. He scored at Motherwell. So he's not off to a bad start in terms of competitive games this season. And to bring off our in-form striker at the moment for somebody who's untested, returning from injury, and putting that pressure on somebody, even if you did bring him on, putting that pressure on him is the best way to kind of lead him into the team. I think you're better playing Danilo, give him a run out, get him stretching his legs, get him fired off a few shots in the B team. Like Hadji's doing just now, scoring hat-tricks and that for fun, feeling good about being back at Rangers. You should do that with Danilo and have him in the first team as well, so he's getting bled in rather than just, if he's trying to shield him from pressure, that's the way to do it rather than just not playing him, because you're just at a kind of deadlock at that point. But Dessers has been reliable, he's been available, and he's been the guy scoring goals for us, and we'd be a lot worse off. Try that one again. A lot worse off without him last season and so far this season than if we didn't have him. You know what I mean?
Right. Reliable and Dessers in the same sentence. I thought I would never ever hear in my lifetime.
In terms of availability, and he scores goals.
Name your drink for you. Name your drink. But the thing is, I get Stu, is that I'll score goals, but out of the 22 that he did score, it should have been about 42 goals that he scored. He's been in enough positions.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most frustrating thing, I wasn't looking so much for a straight swap with Danilo and Dessers. I was looking for more of a, maybe Lawrence coming off and Danilo coming on. Even for 8 minutes, surely he's fit enough to play 8 minutes. It just, I think we keep on going over this. Lawrence was garbage last night. He was absolutely garbage last night. There was zero movement at all. The one time that he did manage to get the ball, he got it trapped under his feet and he couldn't get it out. I'm worried about fans getting really, really fed up now, because I have seen it a lot, and you all know that I'm the world's worst for banging on about players not playing well and Clement. I don't think he's good enough. I honestly don't. He won't get the sack, obviously, because I don't think after getting a a year's contract. They'll be looking to get rid of him anytime soon. So we're stuck with him. So we need to try and get behind him, even if we don't believe in him. The board, everything that's been happening has just been a shit show. And I think it's going to be this. Is it Sunday we're playing St Johnstone?
Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
Half 5 or something, kick off, Corey.
For me, I think the place is going to be half empty. Because I think Rangers fans have had enough. Now, are any of you guys going to the game?
I'm working.
No, I'm probably working, but even if I was off, I wouldn't be going.
Right. It's just the. Can I touch on another wee subject that pissed me off a wee bit? I've seen it in some other socials, right? I wouldn't name and shame the pod. They can name and shame mine if they want. I don't care. But a lot of them are complaining about the atmosphere last night for the Rangers fan, that it was awfully flat. And I was sat here watching it, and I was thinking, I must have been watching a different fucking game, because I thought the atmosphere was absolutely amazing. I thought that the crowd really brought a lot of atmosphere in. Even when we get down to 10 men, the atmosphere was absolutely amazing. And see, for people to complain about the fans, I think, am I talking shite? Stu, I'll go to you first, because you can say.
Perhaps, man, it might just be a kind of narrative thing. I personally think that Hampden is rotten in terms of an atmosphere. I don't enjoy going to Hampden. I've maybe got that if I do when I have been at Hampden, whether it's for a game, whether it's for a gig. In fact, anytime if it's a gig and I see the venue's Hampden, I'm just like, anywhere's far away in terms of your seat. It's hard to get to. It's hard to get back for. So my heat's already I'm kind of already going there begrudgingly. So I kind of get that. Maybe a lot of people are going there pure gritting their teeth. Don't really want to be here. And maybe there's a large section I heard them, like you're saying, still singing, still cheering on the fans and that. But maybe there is a large section who's just like, I'm scunnered with this.
Scotty, what's your thoughts on the crowd, mate, last night? Now, I totally agree with Stu that the atmosphere at Hampden is absolutely chronic. I remember going there years ago, and it's never been good. And then the seating arrangements that they've gave some of the Rangers support, you need fucking the Hubble telescope to get to see any of the players. It's a horrible stadium. That even when there's a final, there is a wee bit lack of atmosphere. But for the crowd that was there, I believe somebody said it was 39,000 that was there last night. Even for 39,000, I thought that every single fan did brilliant, and I thought they did bring some atmosphere. The problem is with the 10 diddies, or I'll be kind to you, 9 diddies on the park.
Aye. I thought the Union Bears done their best to bring an atmosphere. I thought there was some form of atmosphere, but then it says it on the journal on Monday night, Corey, that for this to work, it needs the players to go on the park and give the fans something to get off their seat for. It needs to work both ways. You can't just come out in a presser and say, we really need the fans with us, need them to spur us on, blah, 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 blah. And
that
then
fucking scudders me, mate. That really scudders me, that. Because we've been doing that for the last fucking 4 years.
Mm-hmm. And then if fans turn up, start it. I mean, I was sitting in my pals house watching it, Curry, and I was like, they're probably going to get booed off at half time here, by the way, because this shaping up was good, but they offered nothing going forward. They were toothless up front. You know what I mean? They never offered. There wasn't any real moments to get them off their seats to create an atmosphere. That can come from a tackle, a good save, a shot on target, and there was nothing. Connor Barron, like I said, was the only one that done anything. He was the only one with pass marks for me last night. Diamande was better. But I think Diamondi's problem is that he's in another wavelength for the rest of the team. Him and Barron are kind of on the same wavelength, but in terms of movement and going forward, you need your forward players to get the fans up for it to create an atmosphere. And the players in the park let the fans down in my eyes, Corey.
Aye, I definitely agree.
See, going back to something Curry said for a moment there, I was rounding numbers up, 39,000 at Hampden. So been crying out for like stadium enhancements to increase our stadium size. Even we were playing freaking Elgin and who cares who from the Highlands, Peterhead, all these wee teams. We were selling out Ibrox 45,000.
Aye.
We're not selling out Hampden because I think the atmosphere at Hampden has a lot to do with the attendance. I know obviously things could be better on the park. We're in this transitional period. Clermont's doing some things that people are scratching their head at and being frustrated at, and we've just been popped out of a Champions League qualifier. But 39,000 at a stadium, the capacity of Hampden, this may be our home ground at the moment, I think speaks volumes from the off. Before a ball was kicked, there was only 39,000 there, and we were playing East Stirling with 45, 2012. So I think Hampden has got a massive bit to do with it. All the points about the team, the performance, the decisions, all valid too. But I think that kind of Hampden's just a cloud kind of hanging over, like what you're saying going on at Rangers just now, man.
I think you've got a point there, Stu. Definitely. Right. I wish Timmy Clement would find that magic wand that he had when he first came. A lot of things need to change on and off the park for me. Now, we've got 2 weeks on Friday. The transfer left, is that right, Scotty? Stu?
Aye.
Right. We know what we want to happen, but what needs to happen. We'll start with you first, Stu.
Well, I think neither is going to happen, to be honest. Because we've already said any new faces. Well, the manager kind of said any new faces coming on the door. We're kind of pinned on a £9 million windfall for qualifying for the next stage, the Champions League. So unless we get a cheap loan or an absolute kind of diamond in the rough free, I don't think they'll be seeing much more movement, to be honest. So that's my kind of thoughts, negative as they may be.
Scotty, I think you'll agree with me when I say this. When you say what needs to happen, the guy you've been going on about tonight, and I totally agree with you 100%, mate. I think that Conor Barron has been outstanding since the moment he put that jersey on. Is he world class? Is he Rangers class? Doesn't matter. He's given 100% commitment, and that's all I've ever wanted for any Rangers player. That's why I used to like Fashion Sakala so much, because he gave it everything, no matter what. If we've got no money to buy players in, or name players, I know you've done a lot of stuff in your own channel, the Rangers Journal, and you do it quite often. You do it in socials as well, about possible players that we can bring in. Some of them are obviously for abroad and quite a lot of money, or quite a lot of money for your standards. I can think of 4 or 5 players in the Scottish League now that would improve our starting 11, and we'd probably get for buttons.
Right. Who?
Sorry, stay on, you go, mate.
Who?
Go for it, Scotty. You've got all the names. Right,
so first player I want out would be James Tavernier, right? That's good news for you, Corey. Tavernier was one of the ones in the summer I'd say out the leadership group I wouldn't mind staying if you took the captaincy off him. But I think his performances have shown that he's laboured He's effortless. He's huffy. He's showing his body language. He doesn't want to be here. He can't even be asked shutting a cross off, right? So I go on the phone to Trabzon, Spawn, whatever they were offering, I would day deal, right? Just get them going. I would go with Sterling and Adam Devine for right back. That's the first logical thing that Rangers could do, is get money in and replace it with players that are already there. Whether they've got equality or not, I don't know. They'll build up to it. We'll fix it. There's other players in the youth pathways. Well, if this is going to be a proper transition, then we need to do it properly, and we need to include youth players in this, right? So that's the first one out the door. That's the first one out the door. So after that, I would go for... So Tom Lawrence needs to go. Ben Davies needs to go. Robbie Matondo needs to go. Scott Wright needs to go. Christ, who else is there? Todd Cantwell wants to go. Whether that's you could do a completely separate pod on Todd, right? Whether you want him to stay or whether you want him to go. I would get... Logical thing is, I would get Rooney table with Yanis Hadji and his agent, and I would fix this clause to make him the second highest paid player at a club. As I'm led to believe, if he makes another appearance, his wages are just shy of Tav's, right? Which is why we're not playing him and we're wanting to sell him. I would get that fixed. I'd put him in a 10. You drop Lawrence. So there's you saved a wee bit of money already, right? Then I would go out and I would sign Lawrence Shankland. If there's any offers for Cyril Dessers, bin him. Get him away, right? He's clearly not got it. He's too similar to Shankland anyway. Lennon Miller at Motherwell. David Watson at Kilmarnock. Lewis Mayo at Kilmarnock Tay, ex-Rangers youth. 7, 8 out of 10 for them every week. Danny Armstrong at Kilmarnock. You had Majowski at Aberdeen, who would have been out of a price range anyway. How embarrassing is that, by the way, lads? Aberdeen have pulled in more in player sales than us this summer. They're selling Majowski for 6.8 million. Right? There's a wee reality check for us just now. So, in terms of Scottish League players, that's the three I would go for. Would be Shankland, Watson, and Miller. Now, that's two centre mids, a striker. Whether it's actually going to fit the profile, etc., I don't know. Ridvan's out. I would be shoehorning Robbie Fraser right into his position, because I believe Robbie Fraser in 6 months is probably just going to be as good, if not better, than Ridvan Yilmaz, right? Because I fully believe that boy's got everything he needs to make it as a Rangers left back. So there's certain wee tweaks you can make in amongst this, but Conor Barron coming in and setting an example to come on in the Rangers board that this is what a Scottish player can bring it's a wee bit embarrassing, to be honest with you, Corey, that he's had to come in and show that, because it's not just about effort and desire, it's about the quality he's bringing to. He gets the ball, turns a man, passes it forward, or it's a wee flick round a corner to Diamande and he's off, he's on. It's pure, simple, basic stuff that Barron does that we've been missing, because we've the likes of John Lundstrom and Borna Barisic passing the ball to each other for half an hour. Do you know what I mean? It's so easily fixed, this, and what I'm trying to say is it might not actually cost that much money. If you can get rid of Cantwell and a couple of them other diddies that I've mentioned off the wage bill and get something in, you need to be smart in the market. Maybe a couple of loans in there as well. And Rangers might not be as bad as what they're looking just now.
Stu, I think you were going to disagree with me about bringing in some of the guys in the Scottish Premier that would upgrade your team at the moment. What do you think about? Is there nobody you would want to replace?
I don't know if I was going to disagree with you. I was quite keen to know. I was just like, I don't know. I feel like it's the same names that get kind of battered about for a while. Like, Scotty name goes to them. Watson, Shankland, Armstrong, Majowski. I don't think Majowski was ever going to go to us. Like, the thing is now, I didn't expect him to go for as much as 6. But I did think Aberdeen would have wanted 4 or 4 plus. Same the way Hearts will probably want 4 to 5 for Shankland and stuff like that. And we're probably just not going to pay another Scottish team that kind of money. So they know they'll get it off a championship side or a side abroad. To be honest, man, I think it's a tough one. I think Shankland, I think this might sound daft, but I think the time to sign him's past. Otherwise, we're just getting to the point where we're signing 30-year-old strikers again.
Aye, but Stu, see, the guy had 31 goals in all competitions for Hearts in Scotland last season. Dessers had 22, playing for a better team.
But Shankland's was their penalty taker as well.
He scored 2 penalties, mate.
No, he never. Sure.
Google it. Google his stats. He scored 2 penalties.
I love this. I've started a bitch fight that's not involving me. Brilliant.
Shankland also started the majority of the games last season, which Dessers didn't.
Ah, you did. Come on.
Oh,
Dessers was Rangers number 9 last season, Stu. You can't get away
and he also started a whole load of games.
Stu, can I just add something that Shankland also played quite a lot of the games as a number 10?
Aye.
As well.
Sorry, mate. You know what? Corey,
Sorry.
He done a better job at 10 for Hearts against us last weekend than what Lawrence did.
Aye. It's just, I know it's depressing. Oh shit. That'd be helpful if I put that one. I know it's depressing to everybody, and I know that I'm always really, really negative, right? I don't want to be negative. I hate being negative. I want to see your team winning. But I'm just seeing too many reoccurring things happening that we've had over the last 4 seasons now. 3 seasons, sorry. It's as if everything's happening again. We've learned nothing. We've learned absolutely nothing. And as you said, Scotty, it's coming from the top and it's going the way, working its way down. The thing that pisses me off quite a bit, I like Cantwell, everybody knows that. Everybody, a lot of the folk out there don't like him because he's TikTok and all that. That's fair enough. You know how my feelings and free speech and shit like that is. You say whatever you want to whoever you want. I don't care. It's your own personal time. But he was a creative player. And for me, he's better option than Lawrence. Hadji's the same. Hadji, before he went out, he was having a difficult season. He wasn't playing well. But his very last game that he did play, when he came back from injury, I thought he was one of the better players in the field. And then, unfortunately, he did that press conference where he said that he wanted to play, and the manager didn't. And Michael Beale took the fucking huff and punted him out. And I don't think he really recovered for that mentally. I think that just shattered his confidence. He's obviously came back. There's been offers out there for him. There's no getting accepted because of the price. He's in the B team as well, playing away. For me, I would rather see these two players out in the field to prove themselves. Because even if you're going to leave, if you want out a club, you want to go out and try 100% for the club that you're playing for the extra value. Is that, should these two players even be in Clement's limelight now? Even if they fix everything about the wages and things like that, should Clement be thinking about this, Scotty?
No, it's not his job. That's why you need a director of football to sort all that stuff out. Coppin's the head of recruitment. It's not his job either. His job's to go and find players to bring in. Him and his scouting team, which is what we've got now. It's all done with data and all that. Personally, I would see wherever Ewan Chester is retired just now, I would go to his local bingo hill and drag him out and see whatever he was. He was Walter Smith's scout. I would go and get him back and let him dig as a gem or two. Christ, that's how bad it is. But aye, it's a structural thing, Curry. It's football these days, isn't it? It's no.
Didn't there, bit Sharpie said, mate.
That's a thought.
Yep. Goodness, is it better myself?
and that's depressing. I think that's what making it harder for Rangers fans, is because for me, I don't think they've not made their team any better than it was last season. They've bought, I think, to me is that Ida knew that's him staying. They had him last year. They've brought in 2 goalies, and there's one of the other guys that they had up on loan that they've put on full time. But ultimately, they've not brought any like new players in, and for us, we've regressed. And for me, and this is a horrible thing to say, is we are, as Sharpie said, we are miles away from them. And unless some miracle happens where this team starts to gel and Clement's just managed to pull out his wand again, it's got to be a long, hard season. Stu.
No, I mean, just to add on to that, I think, like, see, since Dave King kind of took a step back, I think that's when the regressions kind of started. I think we've been kind of leaderless, a little bit rudderless. The priorities have been wrong, whereas Dave King's was, we need to win the league, we need to win the league, need to win the league, need to win the league. And that message descended down the way. And obviously, he didn't get it right first time either. But he did get it right eventually. So I think Dave King was a big loss in terms of kicking on from where he'd eventually got the club to the point where we'd won 55. We've just been backwards from then rather than forwards. I know.
Well, so much for the positives tonight, eh?
I know. Well, I don't like coming on being all negative and stuff, man. But seeing as we were talking about Cantwell and Hadji, man, see as a point of principle, they're like, we're talking about players, we're talking about contracts. They're employees of Rangers Football Club at the moment, right? They're paid to play football for us, and whether he wants to be part of the Clement's dream for the future or anything like that, or whoever, or whether they don't, whether they're going to be here next season, whether they're going to be here post-August, it's irrelevant, man. See if they're available and they're fit and they're ready to play. They should be an option for us to give us strength and depth. And obviously, Europe aside, because they weren't named in the squad, so they couldn't have played anyway. But even in the league, which is our bread and butter, needs to happen. We need to win that league. They should be available. They should be playing, because on their day, they're game changers as well. People talk about Hadji not being fast. He's just had a smashing fucking Euros. And he's got that kind of intelligence where he can pick a pass, which can sometimes make up for maybe his lack of burst of speed. If you Cantwell, who's a kind of very impassioned player on his day, can like win his games and stuff like that. I know some people will strongly disagree with us. All right, some days disagree with you.
No, that's I don't disagree with you, mate. I totally agree with you. These guys,
especially when they're on like 20 something plus, like mid-20s, high 20 odd grand a week. They're fit and available. It shouldn't be a point of, come on, none of my players not going to be here next season, not going to play them. If they're available and they can challenge Tom Lawrence, who just takes far too many touches now. When he signed for us, he was this pure baller who was striking the ball for the outside the box, edge of the box, touch, shoot. Now you're just waiting for him to release the ball either to another player or to hit a screamer, and he just does nothing with it now. So these players should be available to challenge the kind of squad that they've got. And if they're not going to be here next season and you're getting dropped for a player who's not going to be here and you're part of the future plans, if that doesn't give you the kick up the arse that it should, then maybe they shouldn't be here next season either. Anyway.
Well, Curry, I've got a positive.
I can't disagree with anything Stu has to say, mate.
I've got a positive happy clapping moment, but mate, B team are beating Clyde 3-2 in a Fish and Chip Cup. Alec Lowry's put them 3-2 up in the last minute. He's scored 2 and Callum Adamson get 1. So that's a wee positive that the B teams went and done a business. That's all.
Well, that was one of my gripes during the week, mate, was that Hadji scored a hat-trick and Rangers TV did 2 interviews and Hadji's name was they fucking mentioned once in the 2 interviews. And I'm like, because I was like, how can you get through it? And both of them are maybe 4 or 5 minutes long. And I'm like, how can you do a 4 or 5 minute interview and no mention the guy that scored the hat trick? There's something no right there. So
It's
it was
because if
just
we
a
mention
bit-
his name 2 or 3 more times, we've got to pay him 50 grand.
Aye, maybe Stu. Yeah. Before I go, right, I just wanted to say, everybody, thank you all for coming. All the usual guys, thank you so much. I know that the Not Another Rangers pod is on at the same time. I actually thought they were on earlier, so we're clashing with them, and obviously they're a lot bigger than I am. So for all the guys that are here and switching between the two, thank you so much. Guys like Sharpie, JD, Aldo, Bluebells, thank you so much for coming, mate. It's appreciated. I'm sorry it hasn't been positive. I think we're all feeling the same now. And I don't know whether we've got to the stages of desperation just now, but I think we're just that deflated. It's pissed us off. But just to let you know, we were supposed to have another guest tonight. Right, our Dino was supposed to be here tonight, but unfortunately he's pumping some dirty in a hotel somewhere. So unfortunately he's not here. So if you're watching, Dino, or the bird that you're pumping, get right in there, young man. Right, guys, Scotty, say your good nights.
Hey, aye, cheers for having me on, Corey.
Is that what Dino meant when he said he was having fish fingers in it, eh? No way.
Aye, right enough. I was there were the scampi fries, mate.
Oh, I thought he was having peas with it too. Oh, well.
Aye. Poor Dino's not here. Well, obviously he's not popped in, so either he's watching that other pod or he's doing the business. Right, good luck. Right, Stu, thank you so much for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. You're a big legend, by the way.
I know, mate. I know. Thanks.
You're not
It's
that
a
big
pleasure
a
being here. Thanks for having me, mate. Thank you.
legend. Man. No, thanks, mate. It has been brilliant. It's actually nice to actually talk to you finally, face to face, as they say. So, everybody in the chat, thank you for coming. This has been the Stands Out Rocks. No surrender. We are the people. Good night.